Professor Yamba, it is indeed an absolute pleasure once again to have you on the Child Development podcast. And obviously, we are exploring season number 2, where we are providing parenting tips for supporting cognitive development. And thank you once again for joining us, as we can't wait to be immersed in your knowledge and wisdom pertaining to this area.
Well, it's my pleasure once again to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, parents, I think, need some practical tips so that they can bring up their children in a way that will, make them great people.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, and of course, what we are going to discuss today is a very important topic. Yes.
And I can't wait to unleash the topic for today's podcast.
Yes.
So obviously in episode number 3 of season 2, our focus is on building resilience.
Yes, building resilience
in children. And this is a very key subject matter everywhere you go, be it in the corporate world, academic world, business world, dynamics of politics, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
This word never misses.
Absolutely.
We must be resilient.
Yes.
We must have a resilient attitude, resilient mindset.
Yeah.
So, obviously now, from your perspective, I would really want to learn more on how we can unpack building resilience in children. So we'll explore the various ways parents can nurture resilience, help children to face challenges with confidence and adaptability, from fostering positive relationships to teaching emotional regulations. So I feel that this podcast and this episode in particular is packed with practical advice to empower parents from our one and only resident expert, that is Professor Yamba, specialist in human capital development and more specifically child development, the conversation that we are having today. And so to begin the ball rolling, let us begin unpacking the conversation. So, Professor Yamba, just an overview. Why is building resilience in children a very important subject matter?
Yes. Emmanuel, life is not a straight line. See, children will grow up in an environment where there are a lot of challenges, there are adverse situations, there are setbacks, there are all kinds of things.
Yes.
And the child must have the ability to cope with those challenges, with those adverse situations, with those setbacks, and bounce back from those and come on track.
Yes.
Yes. So in other words, there's no giving up. That is what resilience is about.
You must fight.
You must fight.
To reclaim your place in society.
Yeah. So in fact, this is what we're going to share with parents in this episode.
Okay, great.
How they can help their children to have this ability to cope with these challenges, setbacks, adverse situations, and bounce back from those situations.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, it starts from when they are young.
Yes.
You cannot start when you are already old enough.
No.
It becomes very difficult for you.
Very, very difficult.
Yes.
Very, very
so
difficult.
You have to start when you are young, and therefore, parents again are very critical in this whole thing. So this is how critical parents are. In case some parents out there did not realize how important they are. Building the nation begins from there.
Yes.
The nation made up of a population that is resilient.
Resilient.
Yes.
To difficult circumstances.
Absolutely.
Unwavering challenges.
Absolutely.
In such a
time. It does
time
not matter whether it is climate change. or anything of that sort.
Drought,
No, drought.
food crisis, so on and so forth.
No. Those should not be issues.
Yeah.
Those should not be issues. But it all begins from there.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, well, then you have a situation. You build a population. Any small knock, you are down.
Knocked out of place.
Yes, and even if you have to deal with load shedding.
And Prof, obviously from your introductory remarks when it comes to issues to do with resilience, this is a very key subject matter. Because remember that we are living in an environment that we get exposed to different situations, different circumstances.
Yes.
You talked about climate change.
Yes.
We've talked about drought. These are at a global perspective, right?
Yes.
But obviously at a personal level as well, there are so many challenges that we face during our period of growing up into fully fledged adults.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if your environment presents you with a set of challenges and then you don't have that resilient skin to help you overcome, it becomes very difficult in your adult age.
Very, very difficult.
Instead of confronting problems with solutions, you are running away from them with complaints.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, what you have just mentioned, I met a gentleman a couple of months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just sharing about all these issues. Yeah. And he said, you know what? The problem that we have in Africa is that we talk about complaints.
Yes.
We don't talk about solutions.
And I agree with that.
Yes. We describe complaints. We describe problems. Yeah, we describe problems. These are the problems that we have.
Yeah.
So we are complaining, but we don't talk about solutions. Yeah?
Yeah.
So this underscores the importance of parents,
Yeah.
bringing up children to have this ability to confront these issues, the challenges,
Overcome and become victorious.
Absolutely.
And I was just thinking that from that statement that you've raised, that we are complainants, if there was a cost attached to complaining, Africa would have been the richest continent.
I think so.
Yeah. So, Prof, let us now begin breaking down this aspect of building resilience in children. And of course, as key thematic area number one, reading through and researching, it's the aspect of fostering positive relationships. Of course, in our previous episode, we looked at different parenting styles and how they affect the growth and development of our children, more especially when it comes to cognitive enhancement.
Yes.
So, how do strong supportive relationships with family and community contribute to a child's resilience? That's our starting point.
Yes. In fact, I'm glad you are referring to the previous podcast where we talked about parenting styles, because we also talked about this particular issue, if you recall. So, in fact, what I'll be talking about today is probably a repetition of what we talked about already. But anyway, it doesn't harm.
We have to repeat the information and
connect it
to make a complete picture.
So, how do we foster these positive relationships? Okay. Obviously, number one is building strong family bonds. This is important. So, as a parent,
building strong family bonds.
Exactly.
All right.
So, as a parent, ensure that with your children, build a strong bond.
Okay.
And how do you do that? Of course, there are many ways. First of all, just how you communicate with your child or with your children matters a lot. You remember in the previous episode, we talked about this.
Yes.
Spend quality time together. Engage in activities that foster connection and trust. Let your child trust you.
Yeah.
And you trust your child.
Okay.
You know?
Interesting.
You have to do that. Okay? Encourage peer interactions.
Okay.
Okay? So facilitate opportunities for a child to build friendships. It's important. There are other children around. Let your child, be part of that community.
Yeah.
Let him or her have friends. Don't keep your child just indoors. You are doing harm to the child. So let them build, friendships, and so that they learn social skills through, play dates, group activities, and so on and so on.
Okay.
These are important things, in fostering positive relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then demonstrate respect. Yes, respect. You have to respect your child for them, because they must learn these things.
Yes, certainly.
Yes. Respect, empathy, and effective communication. Yeah. In your own relationships. Because the children learn from you.
Yes.
Yeah. So they are seeing how your own relationships with your peers as well. How you are doing it, how you are communicating with others, how you welcome them, when they visit you and when you visit, and, that kind of thing. It's very, very important for the children to learn from you. So you set a positive example. Exactly. So you must be an example.
Yeah.
Children will not simply become good people, sociable. They have to learn it from someone.
Yes.
And that someone is you, the parent. It cannot be anybody else. So,
apart from you, the parent.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Then, of course, provide emotional support. Yeah. So be a reliable source of comfort and understanding. Yeah. Helping your child feel secure and valued. Yeah. Let your child feel, you value them.
Yes.
And obviously, if you go back to the parenting styles that we talked about, you can only achieve this if you are, if you are practicing not authoritarian,
But authoritative.
Yeah.
Actually,
Parenting style.
Right now, I'm very much immersed in that knowledge.
Authoritative.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we are emphasizing to the parents out there, those who are seeing us, those who are just listening to us, this is the kind of parent that you must be.
Yeah.
Don't be permissive. Don't be uninvolved.
Don't be authoritarian.
Don't be authoritarian.
Be authoritative.
Be authoritative. So you set things straight. You are combining, discipline with your warmth, with your love. And let the children feel that you love them.
Absolutely.
You value them.
Certainly.
Okay?
Certainly, yeah.
Then, of course, also guide children in resolving disputes peacefully.
Yeah. Conflict management.
Conflict management. It all starts when they are young.
Yeah.
You don't learn these things when they are old.
Now you're a graduate, you're in the corporate space, and there's this leadership training which is immersing you with conflict management. It starts from
there. Yeah. So also emphasize listening. There must be good listeners. Yeah. So they must be good listeners. They should not, they should not cut.
Yeah.
When one is talking, they should not cut in. Good listening is very important.
It's a very essential skill.
Yeah, it is a very essential skill.
And it will set you apart in the corporate space.
Yes.
Whether in the business space, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, they must learn also to compromise in some situations. Yeah. Because they're not all, you cannot be always right.
Yes.
So you have to find a space where you compromise.
You compromise.
Yes.
And that's how you build a resilient
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. So you are building this person into a resilient person who can face all situations. Yeah. So that's fostering positive relationships. Yes.
So thank you so much, Prof. A great deal of knowledge that you've just poured on how strong supportive relationships within the family and community contributes to a child resilience.
Yes.
And obviously, in your response, you've shared with us key strategies that we as parents can
Yes.
use to nurture and secure attachments and positive social connections.
Indeed.
All right. Building up from one of the key statements that you raised, and this has been talked about in our different conversations
Yes.
repeatedly, problem solving.
Problem solving.
Okay.
Yes.
So when it comes now to building resilience in children, all right, and integrating the aspect of encouraging problem solving skills,
Yeah.
why is it very important to teach children problem solving skills from a young age?
Well, this is the only way that children, when they grow up,
Yes.
will be able to deal with issues. Remember, in my introductory remarks, I mentioned that life is not a straight line.
Yeah.
There are a lot of challenges.
The graph can go up, down, sideways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are adverse situations. There are a lot of knocks out there. And it makes life interesting, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can imagine if there are no problems, if there are no challenges, we wouldn't be discussing here.
No.
I mean, what should we?
Or be living in an ideal environment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is very important that the children learn how to solve problems right from when they are young.
Yeah.
Because they will not learn to do it when they are old.
Yes.
They will not. So you begin them from there. So give them tasks that are challenging but achievable.
Yeah.
You know, as a parent, be interested. You know that my child is able to do this. You know, he or she can achieve this.
Yes. Be involved and engaged.
Be involved.
Yeah.
Okay? Encourage them to think critically and find solutions. So we begin teaching critical thinking when they are young, during the 0 to 5.
0 to 5.
0 to 5.
That critical window.
That critical window.
That's where the magic is.
The magic is there. You miss it there, it becomes very difficult later on in life.
To play catch up.
Oh, it is so difficult because, at that time, the brain is not as elastic as it was during, the 0 to 5.
0 to 5.
And so it cannot quickly adapt and, change from here to there. So that's the window that you have.
Yeah.
Promote creative thinking. Okay. Encourage brainstorming and exploring multiple solutions to a problem. Because, solving problems is not only one way.
Yeah.
There are several ways that you can solve the same problem.
All right.
Yeah. It's like Emmanuel going to a place somewhere.
Yes.
Normally, it's not only one route that you can arrive. For example, you are driving from Cheston going into town.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not only Greatest Road that will take you to town. There are other ways that you can use.
Yeah.
So
shortcuts.
It is the same. It is the same with the problem solving. There are many ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, one of the executive functions we talked about, if we go back to the first
Season 1.
season 1,
Yeah.
we talked about cognitive flexibility.
Yes. I remember that one.
Yeah, you remember that one. Yeah. This is what allows a child, if they're solving a problem, they fail to do it, the brain must allow them to think of other ways, alternative ways to solve the same problem.
Yes.
If that fails, again, the brain will allow them to use another method. So there's no limit as to how much, okay, or to how many ways that a child can use. So this comes with your help as a parent. So teach them critical thinking
skills.
Exactly.
Okay.
Allow natural consequences. I'll explain what that means.
Yeah.
Okay. So let children experience the results of their decisions, helping them learn from their mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah. Emmanuel, allowing children to experience the natural experiences of their actions helps them, learn about cause and effect.
Very essential. Cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
Of different circumstances.
Responsibility and decision making. Okay?
Yeah.
For example, a child may have may have been given homework by the teacher, and they don't complete the homework. So if a child chooses not to do their homework, they'll get a lower grade.
Yeah.
You see what that means? Yeah. So then also they may, when they go to school, they may forget their lunch. And so they'll feel hungry.
Yes.
So next time, they make sure that they don't forget their lunch. In the first example that I gave, they make sure that they complete their homework.
Homework, yes.
Because they don't want to get a lower grade.
C and E, cause and effect.
Cause and effect. Okay? It may be on a cold day, and they forget to put on warm clothing.
Yes.
They'll feel cold, not so.
The cold will hammer them. And the following day, they wouldn't want to experience
Next
the same.
time, they will not want to experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the things. Then the other thing is, guide, do not solve. Just guide them. So offer support and guidance without taking over the problem-solving process.
Yeah.
Because they must do it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you are building resilience in them. Yeah. So allow children to develop their own strategies. Yeah. Then, of course, you can use puzzles and games. Incorporate, activities like, the puzzles and, board games and so on and so on.
And those, I must admit, those are very powerful problem-solving skills
powerful,
for kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is how you encourage problem-solving skills in your child. There are many other things, but this is just giving a few tips to the parents out there. So in other words, what we are saying is that you as a parent, you have a responsibility to, to teach your child how to solve problems, to build resilience in that area. So in other words, you allow them, you allow them to do things on their own rather than doing things for them.
For them, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prof, for taking us through this model of how we as parents can encourage problem-solving skills. And obviously, you've shared strategies on how we can help children learn to identify problems and brainstorm solution.
Yeah.
The world already is filled with billions of problems every day. And what it is looking for are people who are going to be responsive to those problems by coming up with solutions. And it is very essential that now more than ever before, we as young parents,
Yes.
with little children, we begin to build this resilient mindset, which encompasses the aspect of problem-solving skills.
Absolutely.
And now, talking about the subject of the mindset, obviously, in one of your sessions, opening remarks, you talked about promoting a growth mindset.
Growth mindset.
If we are to raise a generation of resilient individuals
Yeah.
who are going to be responsible enough to cultivate sustainable development for this nation.
Yes.
So for those that may not understand, first of all, what a growth mindset is, what is a growth mindset and how does it relate to this subject matter today where we're looking at building resilience in children?
Yeah. Thank you, Emmanuel. You see, a growth mindset is a mindset that allows a person to think in all directions. I've talked about solving problems.
Yes.
Solving problems does not have one way only. There are many ways.
Alternatives.
There are many alternatives. And if you have a growth mindset, you will use all those alternatives. Okay? The other thing is that with a growth mindset, okay, you will not just look at, you will not look at narrow path in resolving issues or solving problems. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's something that is, you are bringing in a lot of aspects in your thinking. You are not simply describing problems, but rather you are talking about solutions. So a growth mindset allows you to be a person who, I would say, nothing should be impossible for you. In fact, in life, nothing is impossible and nothing should be impossible. That's the growth mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, you feel, just as your thinking is very narrow. You are focused on just one point. And it means that when there is a challenge, it will be difficult for you to think of alternatives because your focus is just on one thing. There's just one path that you have in your mind in solving problems. If you have no water, you don't know the other solutions apart from what you already know. You have no food, you don't know of other solutions how you can get food apart from what you know.
You already know.
So a growth mindset allows you to find alternatives. And therefore, as a parent, it is very important for you to impart this kind of mindset in your child or children, so that when they grow up, nothing will be impossible
for them to achieve.
In fact, the word impossible should never exist, really.
Absolutely not.
In life, nothing, that way should not exist.
Should not exist.
So,
Prof, you've given us a definition of the growth mindset and what it encompasses. So then, how can we parents, praise our children's effort and also perseverance to foster a growth mindset?
Yes, it is important that, as you mentioned, praise your child for any effort that they make. Praise them. Don't necessarily praise the end result. Which is the success. So don't simply praise the success, but praise the effort, the hard work that they are putting in. The process that leads to the success. And of course, tell them that there's always room to even improve on what they have done. Because if you simply praise the success, you know, and you leave at the process, then it becomes difficult for them. Next time, they may fail to arrive at that success. But if you tell them that, well, look, this effort that you're putting in is very good. In fact, you know, you can even do better.
Better, yes.
Then they know that next time they can actually do
stretch.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they can even go beyond that success that they achieved earlier.
Indeed.
So it's important for parents to realize that it is the effort that they must praise.
Yeah.
Then, of course, encourage learning from mistakes.
Yeah.
Teach children that mistakes are opportunities for growth and learning. They're not failures.
But
mistakes.
But Prof,
Yeah.
just talking about mistakes, we have different households where mistakes are not entertained. I just thought I should raise that one, but please proceed.
Yes.
In your response, how do we address?
No. In fact, that's a very important observation that you are making. Yeah. You know, life. First of all, I keep mentioning this.
Yes.
Life is not a straight line.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of mistakes that we make.
Yes.
There is no one. If you are a parent, tell me, Emmanuel, you are a parent.
Yes.
Do you make mistakes?
Every day.
If there is a parent out there who claims they don't make mistakes, then they should be God.
Yes.
Yeah, they are not human. They must be super beings like God or something of the nature. Like
every day I keep on hitting my head.
Exactly.
I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
This decision has led to the worst outcome.
So you must entertain the mistakes. And especially from your child, because the child learns by mistakes. Yeah, they make mistakes. Encourage them that, oh, no, you can do this. You can do better. You can do better. Because you yourself as an adult, you make mistakes every day.
Yes.
And we learn from our mistakes. So, parents, let those mistakes from your children be opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
That is important.
Very
then,
good.
of course, use positive language. Yeah. Frame challenges as opportunities for development rather than obstacles. Challenges are opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, you know, as I keep saying, they make life more interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a challenge. In fact, some people even say, well, let's run away from using the word problem. Well, there are no problems.
Yes.
There are challenges.
Challenges.
Exactly.
Which come hidden in the form of opportunities.
Exactly. Yes. So let the child get to know that these challenges are actually opportunities for growth. Set realistic goals. So you must help children set attainable goals and celebrate their progress, reinforcing the value of effort and persistence.
Persistence, yes.
Exactly. So help them set those attainable goals and celebrate the progress. Yeah. So any small progress, celebrate.
Applaud it.
Applaud it.
Yeah.
You know, that way you are encouraging children and they know
Yes.
that they can do it.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, of course, you know, you can also share some of your own examples. Share with your children. Use stories of other people who have achieved success, including yourself. Maybe you have also done something. Share those stories, and that will illustrate the benefits of the growth mindset. Exactly.
Sure. So, Prof, from the perspective of promoting a growth mindset, obviously, a mind in itself gets troubled over time. All right? Because we're living in an environment that constantly presents us with different challenges.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
The fact that we've got so many elements that we interact with in the environment, we are prone to charging emotions
Yes.
almost on a daily basis. So when we look at emotional regulations, why is teaching emotional regulation? Of course, from this perspective, yes, at that stage, we are looking at it as emotional regulation. But where we are, we look at it as emotional intelligence.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So how, or rather, why is teaching emotional regulations crucial for building resilience in children?
Yeah, obviously that is so important, so important. You must demonstrate first of all.
Yeah.
Demonstrate how to express emotions appropriately and manage stress.
Yes.
That is how you build resilience, actually. Yeah. Yes, I know there are emotions out there, but you must teach your child to manage those emotions.
Yeah. Manage emotions.
Okay. Manage the emotions, and that way he will get to know how to manage stress, because emotions really are about stress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stress management.
Exactly. Stress management. Yeah. The other thing is you must encourage emotional awareness. So help the children recognize and name their emotions, fostering self-awareness. So they must be aware. Yeah. Create a safe emotional space. Provide a non-judgmental environment
Okay.
where children feel comfortable expressing their feelings. By the way, feelings are neither right nor wrong. Yeah. So let the children express their feelings. Create that. Don't judge them. Okay. Don't judge them. That way you are building their resilience. Okay. Practice patience.
Yeah. Patience is a virtue.
Is a virtue.
Yeah.
So teach children to pause and reflect before reacting.
Reacting.
You see, many times, and of course they will learn it from you. If you're the kind of person who reacts and then start thinking later, they will learn it from you.
Yeah.
So reflect. Before you react, reflect.
Reflect.
Many people want to react or take an action,
Yeah.
then they start thinking later, say,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But that's too late, or they've already done it.
They've already reacted, and the decision or consequences are actually already been brought. Obviously, just to move your mic a little bit,
Okay.
so that we can. We don't want people to miss this important conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. So let them, pause and reflect before reacting, building emotional control and resilience.
And resilience.
Yeah.
Pause before reacting. So
Exactly.
meaning that you're adapting to a more proactive approach.
Absolutely.
When you're responding to any what I would call provocative situations within your environment.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So on emotional regulation, and obviously you've shared effective strategies on how we can help children manage their emotions.
Yeah.
Now, I remember one of my mentors told me that, look, Emmanuel, the world is changing. The world is evolving. The way our parents were raised, the environment that they were groomed, versus the time that we are raising our children as well, is totally different. And obviously based on a lot of disruptions. You talk of technology, you talk of culture, you talk of belief system, you talk of religion as well. So he says, in this modern day era, it's either you adapt or you die.
Yes, you perish.
Yeah. And obviously now that we are raising our children in a most, I look at it as a most difficult season.
Yes.
Where children have got access to almost everything.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
So, how then can we teach children to adapt to change? Because right now everything is changing every day,
Yes.
and also navigate uncertainty to help build their resilience.
Indeed, we must cultivate adaptability in the children. So, parents out there, this is critically important. How do we do this? Expose children to new experiences. Okay. So introduce them to new activities, new environments, people, to build flexibility and adaptability.
All right.
Yeah. So they must experience these new things. Even the people, new people.
Yeah.
Expose them to new people. So don't let them be just with the people they know.
They know.
Okay.
Let them meet new people.
So they must adapt to these new situations all the time. So they must learn that there are new things every day.
Yes.
New things are occurring every day.
Every day.
Yes.
There's change every day.
There's change every day.
You adapt or you die.
Exactly. So they must learn to adapt, and so expose them.
Yes.
Yes. Encourage open-mindedness.
I love that. Encourage open-mindedness.
Open-mindedness.
Okay.
Okay. So teach children to embrace change.
Embracing change.
Embracing change.
Okay.
And view new situations as learning opportunities. Yeah. We have seen many times adults who are just unable to adapt. Just unable to adapt to new situations.
Yeah.
You go to a new situation, you just become flat.
Yeah. You become indifferent.
Absolutely. You become indifferent. Where is this coming from? From that time.
Yeah.
Your parents did not, build this resilience in you. Okay. So parents out there, remember you are responsible for your children's resilience, building this resilience that we're talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
Show how to adapt to changing circumstances positively and constructively.
Yeah.
Okay? So model the adaptability by showing children how to adapt to the changing circumstances. Teach problem solving. So problem solving keeps coming.
It's cross-cutting.
It's cross-cutting.
Yeah.
It's cross-cutting.
Yeah.
So equip your children with skills to navigate changes and uncertainty effectively.
Yeah. Changes and uncertainty.
Because there are a lot of situations which may be uncertain. You don't know. The child does not know how to deal with this particular thing.
Yeah.
So equip them with the skills to navigate. Celebrate small wins. Okay? So acknowledge and celebrate when children successfully adapt to new challenges or changes. So always remember, Emmanuel, when a child makes an achievement, celebrate that. Help them celebrate that. In particular, celebrating the hard work that they have put in.
Yeah.
That process needs to be celebrated. That
Indeed.
way you are building your child, you are encouraging your child to be this kind of person who can adapt to any environment,
any situation. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what they come across.
Yeah.
Yes.
For as long as there is that resilience element built in every fiber of their being.
Absolutely.
They are able to overcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And face challenges. With renewed energy to transform those challenges into opportunities.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. So, Prof, this has been an exciting conversation. And obviously, in each and every episode that we sit down to explore, there are a lot of key facets that we learn when it comes to child development.
Yes.
And as we zero down our conversation on building resilience in children, obviously, I want us also, from your view and perspective, to look at the aspect of independence. All right. Why is fostering independence and self-reliance important for a child's resilience?
Come again?
When we talk about, say, independence, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, as a parent, you don't want to raise children that are overly dependent on you.
Yes.
Okay? So meaning that now there's a component of independence that must come in.
Yes.
So then, from your perspective as a human capital development specialist, why is fostering independence and self-reliance important for a child's resilience?
Well, first of all, if they are not independent, how will they do things on their own?
Yeah.
It is very important that you encourage independence.
Independence, yeah.
Yes. But that is the only way that a child learns to get to know that, there are things that I will be able to do without help of the others. I must be able to think through issues. I must be able to solve problems. I must be able to do this and that independently. Yes. So you have to encourage independence. And this is why we are saying that even when it comes to problem solving, guide.
Yes.
Guide. Do not solve for them. Give them a challenge. Let them do it by themselves. So this independence is important because as they grow up, obviously, they'll go to school, they'll be in a job situation where they'll be required to solve problems, not so?
Yes.
Yeah. So they must be independent.
Absolutely.
And of course, how do you do that? How do you encourage this independence? First of all, there are responsibilities that you can provide. So provide age-appropriate responsibilities.
Yeah.
At every age, responsibilities differ.
They differ, yes.
Exactly.
They differ.
Okay. So, excuse me. So give the children tasks that foster independence. Yeah. For example, chores or personal care routines. Yeah. At home. Support decision making. So allow children to make choices and experience the outcomes, building confidence in their abilities. Then of course you should also encourage self-reliance.
Yes.
Yeah. So foster skills that promote self-sufficiency. They must rely on themselves, and they must know as they grow up they'll have to rely on themselves. Exactly.
They shouldn't be dependent whatsoever.
They shouldn't be dependent. Exactly. Yeah. So promote that. Problem solving as well as the time management, just as examples. They must know how to manage their time.
Time, yes.
Okay. Balance guidance with freedom. So offer support and guidance while allowing children the freedom to explore and learn on their own.
Yes.
Build confidence. So celebrate achievements and progress. Yeah, they must feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah, they must feel good. So reinforce a sense of capability and independence. Exactly.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Prof. And obviously, this brings me to our last point of conversation, which is celebrating resilience.
Yes.
All right, you've talked about it almost in all these segments of our
Yes,
conversation,
yes.
but just specifically, obviously, how can parents recognize and celebrate moments of resilience in their children? Because remember that this is more or less a culture that we are building of
Yeah.
ensuring that our children, no matter what comes their way, they'll withstand it and be resilient in the face of adversities. So how can parents recognize and also celebrate moments of resilience in their children, and obviously talking about positive reinforcement?
Yes. Indeed, I think celebrating resilience is very important in ensuring that the children
Yeah.
become even more resilient.
Mm.
Recognize efforts. And I've mentioned this a couple of times.
Yes.
Recognize efforts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So regularly acknowledge and celebrate your child's efforts to overcome challenges.
Yeah.
Let them feel great. At all. I did it and I can do it again.
Yeah.
And again and again.
And again and again.
So it's always important to encourage children that way. Many a time, parents ignore those successes that children are scoring. But in fact, the efforts that they are making in making those successes, or achieving those successes, is very important. Then, of course, you can also highlight stories of resilience, share stories of individuals, who have demonstrated resilience, providing inspiration and role models. Share those stories with your children. Yeah. Create a resilience wall. So, in other words, dedicate a space to display achievements. Somewhere in your house. Yeah.
It could be a frame, it could be a board.
Could be a board. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, display those achievements and milestones that reflect your child's resilience. They feel great.
Indeed.
Encourage reflection. So, help children reflect on their experiences and recognize their own resilience and growth. And finally, celebrate progress.
Celebrate progress.
Celebrate progress. So celebrate not just the big successes, but also the small steps and improvements along the way.
Because it's a process that matters the most.
It's a process that matters the most. And that is what we must celebrate. So as a parent, you are helping your child build resilience. Because remember, life is not a straight line. It's not a straight line.
Absolutely not.
Your children, as they grow up, will face a lot of challenges out there. And so it is these steps that will help them build this resilience. So that whatever challenge comes about, whatever adverse situation comes about, whatever setback comes about, they will bounce back.
Strong.
They will cope with those situations and bounce back even stronger. So it all begins from you, Emmanuel.
Yes.
As a parent, it begins from you.
Indeed. The journey begins with me as a parent, and of course, you as my fellow parents. Prof, obviously, sometimes I catch you unaware, but I always believe that, when we are winding up a podcast, there must be a killer punch. So what's your killer punch for today's episode when it comes to building resilience in children?
Parents out there, and especially young parents, you want your child to be a great person. You want your child, as they grow, to be critical thinkers. You want them to be solvers of problems.
Problems, indeed.
Because because life itself is full of problems. And you want to contribute your child to a population that will not fail to solve any problem whatsoever. You have that responsibility as a parent.
Yeah.
Remember, you are contributing this, your child, to the society. Yeah, it's your contribution to society. A child who will be useful to society. A child who will nothing will be impossible.
Yeah.
In whatever they do. Yeah. It is your responsibility as a parent to make this individual be this kind of person that we're talking about. A resilient person. A resilient individual.
Yes.
It does not matter. It does not matter what comes before them.
Yeah.
They will tackle it and
Head on. Without fear or favor.
Without fear or favor.
Professor, thank you so much. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, this was episode number 3, where we were focusing on building resilience in children. From our conversation, obviously, you've seen that we've explored a number of key discussion points, ranging from fostering positive relationships, encouraging problem-solving skills, promoting a growth mindset, teaching emotional regulation, cultivating adaptability. You adapt or you die, and obviously encouraging independence, but most importantly, as well, as we're trying to build this structural system of resilience in our children, is to celebrate the subject matter, which is a resilience, when we are seeing the result. My name is Emmanuel Chisalu, your host for the Child Development Podcast, and this was episode number 3 of season number 2, hosting our resident expert, Professor Yamba, who's graced us with his knowledge and wisdom when it comes to building a resilience in children. Every young parent out there, it is our greater responsibility, more than ever before, when the world is constantly changing, to build resilience so that our children will adapt and they will remain resilient in the face of adaptability, regardless of the circumstances that they are presented with. Until next time, goodbye, and it's been a pleasure hosting you. Thank you, Professor, and have a great one.
My pleasure. Thank
Sure.
you.
Sure, thank you.